Remembered by family and friends at Washington National Cathedral. Michael Powell says his father defined the phrase people person.
His zest for life derived from his endless passion for people. He was genuinely interested in everyone he met. He loved a hot dog vendor, a bank teller, a janitor, and a student as much as any world leader.
Powell died last month at age 84. The end of daylight saving time comes Sunday across most of the U.S. Standard Time begins at 2 a.m. local time Sunday. Set the clocks back an hour before bedtime on Saturday night. The Dow finishing up 204 points today. The NASDAQ was ahead 31. More at townhall.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
So they decided, let's give them a show. Got the mics and time slot ready to go. It was too late before they realized. Holy crap, we left him unsupervised. Unsupervised.
What's going on? It is Unsupervised with James G. with guest host Philip Law and Mike Beardsley. And what a weird weekend. What did y'all do this weekend? I had a kids weekend, and we went to the farmers market out in Benbrook because they actually do it. We're big farmers market people. We love it. And I got to pick up wet, nasty dog shit as Raven just pooped right in the middle of that was what I got to do yesterday.
Awesome.
That was the
good times.
It's like, really? Now you poop outside.
Did you get some pointers from Mike over here?
It's just like,
did not call.
no,
subcontract through him there.
It was literally like, okay, cool. Take the kettle corn out of this bag, use this bag, and then but no, it was nice. And in fact, my birthday is this weekend, so I'll have the kids again, and then the weekend of that's my normal weekend. So I'm really excited to see it 3 weekends in a row.
Nice,
so,
man.
Yeah. So, but it was like,
are you planning on picking more dog shit for your birthday, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Weekend activities for
dude, it's a
now?
constant thing in my house. Raven's an awesome dog. She's really mine. She's really kind of mastered up to me for some reason, but that's the one thing for some reason she just, and it was getting it, and then we moved when she was a puppy, and ever since that move, it just restarted, and like we can't get. I was like, so I'm not sure what I had to do with it, but she's actually going to go to a boarding and training camp for about 4 or 5 weeks, so that's going to be hard. quite honestly. But and I'm like, dude, we get to go visit and stuff. I mean, is there visitation rights? Because I mean, that's a long time. And so people realize, it's like, well, Carla works, usually late during the week, and then of course we're musicians, so we tend to work late on weekend nights and stuff like that. But so I usually have that time where there's a couple hours before she gets home, and then and that's like my dog time with Athena, and and it's not going to be there and Raven, so it's kind of depressing. I'm going to start with depressing. So there you go.
That's a good way to start off.
Yeah. So I want to talk about doctor's visits a little bit because I had to I went and saw the doctor because I was because I'm always, if I'm not on both of my medicines, I'm always like at stage 2 hypertension, like always. Okay, so
Gotcha.
Which is bad because but a lot of it is just generally stress related. But I find it really funny. Nothing else in the world works this way, where if you show up early, it's going to be later when you start, right? It's never going to be at 8:30 when your appointment is.
Right.
But if I show up at 9, I missed my appointment, which technically hasn't happened yet.
And you're still charged.
And I'm still charged for it. And then the flip side to that is I do show up on time. So I have 40 minutes to kill. So what did they do? They give us free coffee. So I'm drinking coffee and watching TV for 40 minutes. I go on my doctor's and he sits there. He's like, you really got to lay off the caffeine. Like, this is a pyramid scheme. This is bullshit.
It's a trap.
You're purposely feeding us caffeine, so we'll keep coming back so you can tell us to get off caffeine. And then the
circle.
I know. Then I was actually kind of impressed. I'm like, that's a pretty good business model. Yeah. So anyway, that was my doctor's experience. But
wasn't sponsored by Starbucks or anything, was he?
No,
Community coffee.
No, it wasn't burnt overpriced coffee.
Okay.
But I'm just like, this is a scam, man. And then so I like to try to do things to entertain myself. There's a couple different ways. One is if anyone talks to you while you're sitting there, if they say anything to you, you just look at them and go, "You can see me?" That's always fun. I've done that. And then the other one is just to be talking to like your imaginary friend and having this conversation, whatever. And then if people start looking at you funny, then you're just like, y'all don't see him? Yeah.
What?
So I'm telling you, it's a blast, especially for the little old lady who's crocheting in the corner. She about freaked out when she was, because I had a shirt on and she was asking what it meant. It was one of my funny shirts.
That's always dangerous.
And she's like, "What is your shirt?" Yeah, it was because it was lambda, lambda, lambda. And I was oh, there's this movie about these college nerds trying to get laid. And then, I wasn't going to have that conversation. So
there's a special javelin in the end.
Lamar. And then, she did. She asked, "What is lambda, lambda?" And I just looked at her. I was like, "You can see me?" And then this guy next to me just doubled over, just laughed. So I think it's important just to have fun throughout the day because otherwise this planet sucks.
Yeah, I tell people all the time to be careful what they ask for because, like, there's an older lady I know. She was walking around. We're doing some service, and she's like, "Oh, I really like that kid's t-shirt." Like, that's the Boondocks. You do not want to ask him anything about that shirt.
Don't ask about that.
They're just cute young men on his shirt. Like, do not ask.
Yeah,
that's the cutest thing about the show.
You have a heart attack if you watch that movie, lady.
Yes, there's lots of D's references.
There's a lot of D's references, but oh my gosh, killer movie, right?
Great movie.
That's one of the best. So here's something I just thought, oh my god, this is gonna be fun for us. So this is the title of this thing is Headlines by Morons for Morons. These are actually real headlines that made it into papers.
Right up our alley.
This is right up our alley because we are morons.
Are we getting any of them?
This headline says starvation can lead to health hazards. Good to know. Appreciate that.
Thanks for the tip.
Police arrest everyone on February 22nd. I don't remember that. Do y'all remember getting handcuffed and put everyone's arrested? Parents keep kids home to protest school closure.
That helps. That'll move things along.
Nudist fight erection of towers near Wreck Beach.
She won't give me no ass.
They fight an erection, and it's Wreck Beach. That's a double whammy.
Wrecked him, damn near killed him.
Man with 8 DUIs blames drinking problem.
Oh, sweet Lord.
No, what is this? You go away. I don't want you. Hospitals resort to hiring doctors.
There's something new.
And then underneath, physician shortage prompting move, administrators say, we should hire some doctors. All these sick people keep coming in. We just let them die in the lobby. Although nurses do most of the work anyway. So
true.
That RNs are They're awesome. New
They are
sick
awesome.
policy requires 2-day notice. Hey, I'm going to be sick maybe on Thursday. I would just say
Just
that
let
every
Chaz
week.
know.
Yeah, just hey, I might be sick Thursday. I'm just giving you a 2-day notice in case I
Give you
wake
a
up with a
48
24-hour stomach bug.
We're giving you a 48-hour notice for our 24-hour bug.
Barbershop singers bring joy to school for deaf.
That's one way to enjoy them.
So wrong. Meeting on open meetings is closed. From the Department of the Redundancy Department. Study shows frequent sex enhances pregnancy chances. Oh,
They finally figured out the cure for that.
that's
I
what
see
it
that.
is.
Practicing.
I
Who
tell
would've-
my, I
who
tell
would've
my
thought?
son all the time. I said, getting someone pregnant is not the accident. Not getting them pregnant is the accident. So if you're having sex,
Practice makes perfect.
That's right.
you're gonna have a baby.
That's right.
Say,
That's
what?
very good.
you
That's very
sure?
good. Yeah. Frequent sex enhances pregnancy chances. Man accused of killing lawyer receives a new attorney. I would not want to be that guy's attorney. Hey, we found a case for you, Bill. Welcome to the firm.
You made partner. Here you go.
Like, oh, damn it. 17 remain dead in morgue shooting spree.
Remain dead.
Well,
Is there a problem of not remaining dead?
Here's the problem.
Apparently so.
Somebody somewhere edits this freaking paper and goes, that makes sense to me.
you know,
Clickbait.
that's normal in a mass shooting. You know,
I'm-
some of them come back.
Cow urine makes for juicy lemons.
What?
Oh my God. That's what it says. Cow urine makes for juicy lemons. Worker suffers leg pain after crane drops 800-pound ball on his head. All right.
I would say so.
But his
Figured-
leg hurts?
I figure your leg would be the least of your concerns.
Wouldn't it fall all the way down to your leg?
Through your
800
leg,
pounds, man. There's no way you'd survive that, is it?
would crush your skull, I would imagine.
No. I mean, that's like,
Did he
Damn.
come back? That was one of the morgue. He came
yeah,
back?
no, he remained dead.
Ah, got it.
Federal agents raid gun shop, find weapons.
Shocking.
Marijuana issue sent to a joint committee. That's good.
Unfortunately, not the right joint committee.
A-Rod goes deep. Wang hurt. Front page of the sports. Oh, I love it.
Sweetness.
Tiger Woods plays with own balls, Nike says.
Sure he does.
A lot of chicks, too, apparently.
Or at least used to.
Girls' school still offering something special. Head. And where's this school at?
Really?
Is it college? Hopefully. Republicans turned off by size of Obama's package. Bugs flying around with wings are flying bugs.
Nice.
Well, dang, I was wondering what those things fly around for. The bra celebrates a pair of historic milestones this year. All right. Boobs are great. Total lunar eclipse will be broadcast live on Northwoods Public Radio. Oh, good. They're going to
Good
broadcast
good
the
luck that.
lunar
Good luck with that.
eclipse. Wow. Did you know Diana was still alive hours after Diana was still alive hours before she died?
Yes.
Student
That's-
excited
that's a
dad
rumor.
got head job.
Good for him.
Rangers get whiff of colon. I think it's colon, but it looks like colon. C-O-L. No, colon. C-O-L-O-N.
Colon?
I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I don't watch baseball. I watch it when I need a nap, but can't buy naps like that. Miracle cure kills fifth patient. That's why they call it medical practice.
Sponsored by the FDA.
Hey, if it's in stock, we have it.
I'd hope so.
That's a retail genius in this. A zombie-eyed woman dressed as pig in swimsuit busted for DUI. Hold on. Zombie-eyed woman dressed as pig in swimsuit busted for DUI. I think I'd know her. Sounds like somebody who would
is that in Alvarado?
Alvarado is in a Walmart. Captain, do you know where we're going? Off course. That's not a headline. So what have I gone into
Was
now?
that the caption for the Titanic?
Yeah, apparently it is.
Too soon? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not too soon.
Oh, just 100 and
Yeah.
something years. Yeah.
I knew right when that movie started what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
like, no, absolutely no secret or whatever.
So was it awkward when
Figured
he,
out that plot.
Was
early
it
on.
awkward when he offered the ice bucket challenge at the end of the movie?
Oh, that was the ultimate ice bucket challenge. Yeah. Have you seen all the the millions of pictures when they show her floating on the thing and they show like 20 different ways they both could have laid on it and survived
Oh yeah.
because of the size of it and everything. Yeah. So if that doesn't explain life, I don't know what does. No, Rose, you can have it all to yourself. Here you
This
go.
water's just fine.
This water's just great. I love shriveling up like a stack of dimes. Anyway, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that movie in parts, but if I don't know if you guys are Titanic people at all. If you watch a lot of the documentary stuff, it's amazing. But how they knew it was the guy who knew it was going to be a disaster and they blew him off, you know. And I just think it's always the one guy who everyone thinks is a crazy conspiracy theorist. Generally is right.
Right.
It's happening a lot lately where it's like, that's ridiculous. And then it happens, you know, and I'm going, I don't know, man. But I mean, he knew that. And then when the actual scene where, you know, the musicians are playing, whatever like that, they actually showed the real guy for that. And because a lot of people ask, well, how would they know that people they play? Said, well, the last people who got off the ship that survived said they were still standing there and playing. And so I'm just like, man, it just has goosebumps.
Yeah.
I mean, because it would probably, I just like, as long as I don't die playing Mustang Sally.
Oh yeah.
We're good. It's got to be something really cool, you know, maybe like What Is Hip or like a really cool
something.
I don't want to die.
No, playing Mustang Sally. Going
out playing Wonderful Tonight. Oh God, what a horrible song while you're sinking.
Or Layla.
Layla. I wish it would rain down. Yeah. There's a lot of songs that probably shouldn't be played at funerals. I was thinking of that because I have a fear one day that someone's gonna be like, hey, you know, my mom passed, or I want you to play at my funeral and just pick whatever song. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Yeah, okay, knocking on heaven's door it is.
It's better than Highway to Hell.
Yeah, Highway to Hell. Can't always get what you want.
Crazy Train.
Oh, there's just so many. So here's some other. The what?
WAP.
Yeah. That needs to be on
Macarena. Oh, anyway, we're going to hell. So I got
friends.
here's America's Weekly Moron. Let me if I can.
Well,
find
three of
it.
us are here, so
No, this is that's not us. Yeah, I know it gets confusing.
Yeah, we have to narrow it in.
So there's a couple of them here. This is actually man suspected of arson and vandalism sent a selfie to police in Ohio in the U.S. because he found the photo on his arrest warrant to be unflattering. Donald Chip Pugh, if you want to look him up, texted police a photo of himself and wrote, "Here's a better photo. That one is terrible." He told a local radio station, "Man, they just did me wrong. They put a picture out that made me look like I was a Thundercat or James Brown on the run. I can't do that." What does that even mean?
Thundercat.
Lima Police Department responded by saying, "We thank him for being helpful, but now we'd really appreciate if he'd come in to speak to us." He was later arrested in Florida. And yeah, so and the mugshot, I'm going, it doesn't look that bad, but he's got this other one where like he's in his car with the sunroof up and he's got shades on, like he's posing for the selfie. So I never understand the criminals'
James
desire
Brown's
to.
mugshot was amazing.
I was about to say, well, I think that would be flattering if you know. It was pretty amazing, dude. The one that gets me is Busey, Gary Busey. Really, any shot of Gary Busey, but I'm like, that guy is just.
Or Nolte, Nick Nolte.
Nick
Remember
Nolte's
that
was
that
bad.
was classic.
Man, that was just so bad. And
the hair.
Yeah, oh man, he was.
How to get your kids off of drugs? Just show
them a picture of that. Yeah. So a man who tried to rob a Glasgow bookmakers while armed with a cucumber came unstuck when he was tackled by the ground of an off-duty police officer.
Wait, is this a Spinal Tap reference?
It is not. It's huge. They got armadillos in their trousers. Gary, they're frightened the size.
Yeah.
And Gary Ruff brandished the vegetable covered in a black sock at a female worker at Ladbrokes in Shettleston and demanded cash, which she refused. Ruff was then pinned down by the officer and arrested. He initially told the police it was all a joke before inquiring, am I getting the jail for this? He was indeed jailed at the High Court in Glasgow in 2014 after admitting assault with intent to rob with a cucumber. First of all, if she's a really lonely lady, that wouldn't be all threatening. If you were to wave a cucumber at her.
Can I keep this evidence?
Can I keep that evidence, please? Why is there Don't check it for DNA, whatever you do.
Get the black light out for that.
Oh, thanks for that mental picture. Hey, man, it happens. Just like, guys in an apple pie, right?
Right.
I've heard. I mean, I don't know anything about that.
I've seen it done.
So as an aspiring bank robber who wrote a terrible disguise of sunglasses and socks over his shoes, gave the cashier his full name and address half an hour before he attempted to hold the branch up. Dean Smith, then 27, went into his local branch of Barclays in the Welsh village of Treorchy to change his address and spotted the cash in the tills. He returned in his disguise and demanded the money, but fled empty-handed when the cashier refused. Police had little difficulty tracking him down. He admitted he'd been very stupid and was jailed for 2.5 years for attempting robbery carrying a bladed weapon. So he handed them his address change information and then came back to rob them. Same clothes.
Solid thinking. Yeah.
Just like
great logic there.
Yeah, see, well, I told people for years, man, I have no fear of dumb criminals. It's the really smart ones that scared me.
Sure.
I mean, and those are the ones obviously hiding in plain sight too, and usually holding some sort of political office. So
touche.
Did I say that out loud? Why are you looking at me like that? Do I have a booger hanging out of my nose?
You do.
You do?
I'm just watching you as you drink your caffeine. We're told not to drink caffeine.
I didn't say he told me that. I mean, he did, but he told me a lot of things. So.
As he said, help yourself to some free coffee on your way out.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you need to quit drinking
have
caffeine.
A cup of Joe on
have
your
a cup
way
of
out.
Joe on the way out. Is this all decaf? What's decaf? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole part of being older. I made post. You start feeling older when you get the week-long pill box, right? Because I
haven't got there yet.
I think the next step is I have to get the one with the AM PM separations. And then I'm really going to be like, I am jacked up. And so I take 4 a day, but it's only for 2 conditions. And it's funny because people are like, I've had some people, well, just eat better. And I was like, these have nothing to do with that. So hypertension is a lot genetic, but I'm extremely stressed. It's a lot going on. But the other 2 are my the serotonin blockers, my antidepressant combination. And so it's not like and I actually really take 5 because I usually take B12. If I take B12, then I won't drink caffeine that morning. But I didn't take it, obviously, this morning. So, because I woke up and my ex-wife is sick, so I had to take Trevor. There's some meds he had to take this morning, so he take that to go to school. Well, Cass in the middle of the night was puking, so I'm assuming she got whatever stomach bug that her mom got.
Oh, mercy.
And so, yeah, it's been kind of a morning. So I was just like, okay, yeah, caffeine it is.
Caffeine it is. Absolutely.
It's just.
Great weekend, puke and dog poop.
Dog poop,
wet dog
puke,
poop,
and
You're
and
hitting
it's just,
all the
I know.
bodily functions there.
I do. I like bodily functions. Still stuck finding the perfect logo. So I got a text yesterday. I looked down and it was some, you can get some really crazy, wacky texts because your number came from somewhere or whatever, but it said something about being able to make her constantly moan. And I was like, no, I can't. Maybe I should
do that now, but it's not in a good way.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way I do, but it's because I do stupid shit all the time.
Right.
And she's moaning because but I was just like, how did that get? And I started going about what have I filled out recently that could be, but nothing. And so it's scary. I mean, your number is just all over the place.
It is crazy.
And I don't know. It doesn't bother me. So anyway, yeah, the parent thing for me is when the kids are sick, it's really, really hard. I mean, you may not care. I don't know. That depends on the kid.
Yeah, whichever one I like more is the one I care more about. It's like, oh, this one I like. This one, it always pretends to be sick. I'm sick again.
Yeah, parents don't have favorites.
Get rid of
that's a load of crap.
Get rid of the sick weekly ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry you didn't make it.
Sorry, Timmy.
Just like the horse who broke the leg, right? Yeah.
And my kids are like, am I the favorite? I'm like, you are my favorite child in this room.
That's
I'm
right.
the only one in this room. Okay. You're also the most child I hate the most in this room.
That's right. Just pick one. Yeah. And
interchangeable.
It's weird because you have 5.
Yep.
Right. And would you say polar opposites, a lot of them, or is it just kind of, or they all kind of similar in a way?
They're all crazy as hell.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
I mean,
both of mine are. My kids are complete polar opposites, and it's really, really bizarre.
they're not complete opposites, but they have a lot of same tendencies. But they go about accomplishing the same. They try to get to the same end by doing different things.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
like,
But as far as like likes and dislikes and beliefs and the way they're, or is it kind of across the board or?
yeah, they're all pretty much the same. They're pretty boring.
Cool. I'm a terrible parent.
Boring is good.
Boring.
Especially when you
My
have
kids are
5.
boring.
Good grief.
Mine are not boring. That is definitely not the issue.
Look who their dad is.
Oh God.
Come on now.
I know it's not like they had a chance.
Better luck next time, kids.
Oh man, that's what Jeff Foxworthy said. Is like if you mix tap water and pond scum, you're not going to get Evian. So my kids had no chance, and I'm kind of the same way. But man, it's just tough. I was talking to my mom because she just had her birthday. She turned 73, and she was talking. And I was telling my brothers like I keep thinking mom's 46, but that's going to be me on Saturday. But for some reason in my head, because you always kind of think of as you're growing up, you see your parents, and then until you actually see them, then you're like, oh no, wait, they're old grandparents now. I forget, but she was talking about that. She's like, I can't imagine trying to with kids now with the social media pushes and all the stuff that you're battling and blah blah blah. I said that's true. I said, but don't you feel like in the 80s that you had? I mean, I would think that her parents probably said, I can't imagine what it's like with the kids in the 80s because of blah blah. I mean, I think it's more massive, but I think what I'm saying is that generation
grander scale now.
Yeah, it's a grander scale, but I think every generation has had that.
Well, sure.
Gosh, and
so it's different for us because like I've seen 60-year-olds and they do not look like my grandparents when they were 60. I mean, they were like came out of the coal mines and the working hard and their lives were dead.
Right.
Now these grandparents are out like, it's like they might have their second family at 60.
Second family and dating again, and it's but it's interesting to see that of how it's like every generation, especially if you're conservative, because conservative means wanting to conserve that style without really necessarily moving forward in certain areas and stuff like that. So
good stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that people always say, well, the conservatives conservatives don't want to move anything forward. And I'm like, that's not true in my opinion. Not true. There's certain morals and values and stuff that they don't think they'll budge on and stuff like that. So whatever the definition is in the dictionary, I'm telling you socially, that's what it is.
True.
And because people are like, I was like, a lot of things I am conservative, but I'm definitely very liberal on things that I do want to move forward. And so I just don't think in those terms, but at one time, when my parents, it was, you're this or that, those
Black
generations, it was, and so I think it could really be a positive thing if we do that. And I want to touch a lot more on this because I was thinking a lot about this weekend after I got all the silly, funny stuff out the other way. But is how and the reason this came up because I was talking to my therapist and he was talking about how well you're conservative means certain things you don't want necessarily to move forward. And at first I didn't get what he's saying until I realized, okay, he's talking about and of course he said and that there's nothing wrong with that. And the thing is you got people. Like you're feeling guilty that you're conservative, like you should almost move forward and see things. He goes, but you're absolutely entitled to be that, regardless if people agree with your different one. So that was kind of what we're working on because I'm really, really, really good at crippling self-doubt. Like it's kind of a superpower. It's the shittiest
superpower
I
ever.
could possibly get, but
you should just fake it till you make it.
Yeah. No, that's the worst saying ever. I only do that during sex. And I fake it till I make it. And I mean, with, a partner.
We'll verify that with.
No, you won't. She'll be like, what sex? That's what she'll say.
Oh, okay.
That is what she'll say.
Okay.
That's a whole nother show. I don't really want to.
That's next week.
No, it's not. I forgot next week I'm going to be sick. I have my 2-day notice.
She won't give me no
that I've got to go. Oh, no, it's probably her going, he won't give me no. Anyway, yeah. Okay, that's way too much information for a Monday morning show. But yes, we will be back here a little bit. We will talk a little bit.
So revealing.
About some feelings. Feelings are funny. People are like, I don't understand how you can joke about depression. I'm like, because it's funny. Both sides of the same coin, right? You should know both sides of it.
Exactly.
So we'll be back here in a little bit, and then maybe we will be.
Yeah,
we can be. We were up at 8 viewers at one time. We almost hit double digits.
We're getting there.
I lost them with something. I don't know what I said. We're up there. It's looking good.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logoed designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Oh,
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson in Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
So they decided, let's get on the show. Got the mics and time slot ready to go. It was too late before they realized. Holy crap, we left him unsupervised.
Hey, Ron, if you're listening, I want this music to go away, and we're just going to use Spirit of the Radio the whole time. If you're not listening, then, well, you wouldn't have heard that, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
So we are back, second half of James G Unsupervised with co-host Philip and Mike, and we are talking about nothing, basically. No, we're talking about, what were we talking about?
How depression is funny.
Oh, yes. How depression is funny. Well, how it should be.
Right.
I mentioned this before, but at one time I was doing In the Arena, which was a very deep topic show. And then on the flip side of that, I was doing, well, since you brought it up, with two other loony guys and doing straight comedy. And it just kind of realized that it's like I really didn't like being tied down to either one of those that whole time, because they're both sides of the same person. So that's kind of, I was like, I'm just going to do a show where it's like, hey, it's just going to go where it goes. And I think the reason is because one of my favorite podcasters is Rogan. So you don't really know.
You never
He
know.
might be very heartfelt, or he might just be funny, whatever like that. Or, and he's not a guy I agree with 100% of the time by any stretch. I do a lot, but I think he's very fair. And I think we need more podcasters, and just in my opinion, where as even someone I disagree with, I'm like, yeah, I don't really agree with that, but it's not in a hateful way or a, condescending way. It's just kind of like, well, I kind of feel this way, but most things I do agree with him on. And so I started about a week ago, I switched to a lot of my standard motivational guys I listen to in the morning. I just started listening to some of Rogan's. And I'm telling you, man, that guy hits it nail on the head with some of it, because he's talking about and one thing he really is anti is the whole cancel culture thing, and not being able to, and a lot of lifelong comedians are standing up and they're sick of this whole, we can't joke about anything. And case in point, Chappelle, right?
Oh my goodness.
And so,
Something happened.
Did Dave Chappelle something happen? And it's just like,
He said something that offended somebody?
yeah, I know. And I just can't get away from that, where I'm like, there's just a certain area of,
It's unbelievable.
There's a lot of things that would, first of all, I don't really get offended. There's just stuff I really don't want to hear. So I don't. It's really that simple. I mean, it's just like, I don't understand how you can voluntarily go to a program,
Or watch it.
and then get offended.
You watch it and get
Like,
offended.
just don't. Like it's, I mean, you know,
his shtick. I mean, you know what he's going to do.
Once again, no one is safe with Chappelle, including
Right.
himself.
Exactly.
I mean, and so it's just like, you know, there's a lot of shows that are like that. And so, and the real truth is even if he's completely one-sided, it's still a choice to watch. There's a lot of people I don't listen to because I know everything that comes out of their mouth is going to piss me off. So I don't listen to it.
Right.
Do I think they should quit? No. They have every right to do that show. You know, I mean,
Right.
you know, and so it really drives me nuts in that aspect of that. And I've told the story several times. I tell again, where whenever I give a speech on depression and stuff like that, I always start it with a joke, right? And it's, you know, somewhat tasteless, but but it's funny. And the whole point is that sets me up to a point of, okay, it's, you know, and I always usually will say it like people don't laugh, or if they kind of laugh, I'll be like, all right, buckle up, people, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a high point.
This is a high point. This is the conversation we're going to have because it's real.
Right.
But then, and it's always at least one person afterwards who come up and say, you know, I don't know if you should have made that joke, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, I don't care. I'm going to keep making it because you can't tell me how to heal.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I would never make that joke about someone else's experience, which is actually bullshit. I would, just not in front of a lot of people. I mean, come on, you know, if it was us, I would, but not in front of a lot of people, because there's a difference between, to me, there's a difference between saying something that someone could find offensive and then just being intentionally hurtful.
Right.
There's a big difference. If you're doing a show and you have a topic about something, I mean, that's, it's not purposely hurtful.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's just a broad spectrum like he normally does.
Right.
He's just,
and the
not
really funny
singling
thing
anybody
is
out.
the particular in the transgender with him, most of that community supports him.
Yeah.
It's, once again, it's people who aren't even in that community getting offended for other people because, like, wait a minute, what about me? I want to be upset. It's like, this doesn't have anything to do with you.
Right.
And I think it just comes down to that selfish bullshit of, what
Snowflakes.
about me? I'm offended, you know.
Pick
It's just
me,
like,
pick me.
I know. It's like, okay, we get it. You were picked last in kickball. We get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You should have ran faster.
I'm offended by that joke. 'Cause
Good.
It hit a little too close to home.
Good. Because you were like, I wasn't picked at all.
I kept score.
That's what, yeah. If I ever looked around and there's an odd number of kids, I'm like, shit. I'm not playing today.
Yeah. One of my son's greatest ass moves.
Ass moves?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was playing football with one of his buddies, and the teacher pulled over and said, "Hey, you need to include this other kid." He goes, "Okay, your coach, tell us what to do." We were just basically just flat out.
Nice.
And he was like in the 3rd or 4th grade.
Wow.
And he was just like, "Okay, your coach, tell us how to throw the ball." It just walked off. I'm like, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed at the same time that, man, that's rough.
Yeah, that's very rough. 3rd or 4th grade. Wow. That's calling somebody out real fast.
I have a lot of moments where, you know, people say, man, some of the funniest stuff I've said, I'm not really that proud of, but I was just in that zone or that mode. And one of them was, this was right in the heat of my business had just closed, and I was just under so much pressure, and I was even in rare form for me, probably. And there's all this this is when the mask mandate people were literally fighting constantly all day. And so I was going in somewhere, and there's this lady outside, huge, 500 pounds maybe, on one of those little scooters with just
poor scooter.
Yeah, with just tons of
It's
food.
a rascal.
Tons of food that probably shouldn't be consumed much, but I mean, just all junk, you know, and this whole thing, and smoking.
That's ideal.
So I'm walking in, and she's just saying, and out of nowhere I hear, "No mask." I turn around and went, "No diet." And just kept walking in. And I look back, and the husband is standing behind her, and his eyes are bigger than quarters, just going, like, he's like, I can't say anything. I'm just like, and you know, that's one of those things. So many people could listen to this have been offended. I'm going, well, wait a minute. Here's the situation. You know, I was kind of attacked in a sense like that, and I retaliated. Would I have just gone up there and go, seriously, you don't need to eat all that food because you're gigantic?
Well,
no, because it's her choice, and even if it's an unhealthy choice, blah blah blah. But if you're gonna yell,
if you call somebody out,
I'm gonna call you back.
You should expect.
Yeah,
don't be offended or shocked that somebody comes back at you.
But people are.
I know,
and I just like it's. Yeah, people are like, oh, if you fight back, you're an ass, you know. I'm like, no, it's just, and so I always resort to being cool and nice with somebody first. And anyone who knows me knows that's true. I will always go to that aspect of it first. But if you flip that coin, it's on.
Right.
Like, I am not the better person. Like I started out being a good person, but
I
I'm
think-
not the better person.
I think you should make that into a T-shirt.
I should. I am not the better person. So I will retaliate. And it's just because I know it's as you get older, but it's like I'm just done. I understand now why my dad was frustrated all the time. Growing up, like, why is dad mad all the time? And I'm going, I totally get why mad was dad all the
Like
time.
Bill Burr says the same thing. He's like, that he did that show F is for Family on Netflix. And,
Oh yeah,
and
I have it. I haven't watched it, but I have it
it's
queued.
it's
Yeah.
it's
It's
crazy.
good.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I mean, he that's basically his depiction of his family life growing up as a kid, and same thing. He's like, why is dad always mad? And he's like, as he grows up and has kids and all
Yeah.
that, he realizes like, oh, this is a shit show. I got it.
I
Okay.
totally get it now. I really, really do. And
Yeah, I saw a Facebook meme. It was like, when I was a kid, I really relate to the kids in the '70s show, and now that I'm older, I really relate with Red.
yeah, I really read with the parents. That's right. That's why I kind of tell people in my life, I've kind of gone through movie roles, where like I can, Breakfast Club is kind of was my first relationship from there. And then, I go, and then now I'm kind of at, Falling Down.
Oh, I thought you were
Right.
going to say Pond Golden Pond.
No, no, that's after Falling Down. But I totally get people like, oh, this guy just loses and starts shooting me. I'm like, I totally get it. Like, I relate to Jason, not the teenagers. Like, I totally get it. I mean, I'm cheering him on. It's just like,
So, circling back.
that's not a big enough machete. Get something else.
So circling back to Red Foreman, I don't know if you guys heard, but they're going to relaunch. They're going to do a spinoff of the '70s show. It's going to be the '90s.
The 90s,
And
yeah.
Red.
They attempted the 80s and it didn't last. It was like a pilot only or something like that.
But Red and Kitty are going to be back there as grandparents. And,
Yeah.
That's
and all
pretty
that
cool.
stuff. So I'm like, that's cool.
Well, that was a smart way to do it, was to
Right.
keep what was successful.
there,
That
right.
cast was
Yeah.
amazing, And
Hyde's not coming back though. He got
who?
I was just
Hyde. He got Me Too pretty bad.
I was just going to
Yeah,
ask
he
if
did-
Danny Masterson was going to be back. or
No,
not,
and that's
but
why I quit watching The Ranch.
I did. Yeah, I did too.
I loved it, but I was just like, okay, and like it may or may not have or whatever. But to me, it's like when it's that vague and there's no proof. And I mean, he never got any jail time or anything for it. So it's
did that thing already get settled? I mean,
I don't know. That's,
okay.
I mean, and then that's my
Just
whole
went off and disappeared into the ether. So
yeah. And so it's kind of like, and I don't know. And the problem is, it's just like when they the game with the whole Al Baldwin and the shooting thing, and like everyone's saying, well, let's wait till all the info comes in before we make it. I'm like, well, why don't we do that with police shootings? Can
Yeah.
we do it with that now too?
True.
Because it's like everyone's already, the public opinion has already been stated and blah blah blah. And it's like, now if they're guilty, put those assholes away. I don't care if they're cops or
Right.
not. But that's not my point. Is that it's like,
Let
so
it
now
all-
we have to wait till all the info comes in, and we're not allowed to make assumptions and blah blah blah. It's just that, and so that's why I tell people. I think people get offended because it's not offended. It's because they don't want to deal with either the truth or the fact that they might be wrong, or that you literally just have a different opinion than them. That's what they don't want
It's
to deal
more
with.
of a different opinion, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, and it's just like what I never said that I was 100% right. I could
Sure.
be wrong, but in my perception and in my experience, this is what I think.
Right.
And so, man, that thing is just ugly. The whole Alec Baldwin.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And so, but they were saying that people had left the day before because the set was unsafe, and people. I mean, it was just like. So I really thought this was going to explode into an anti-gun thing, but it actually hasn't. It's really been
Yet.
kept at, it hasn't yet, but it's been kept at bay because they're like, you guys didn't follow any safety rules.
Yeah.
I mean,
none.
it's just like, and people are like, whether he knew, because I really don't think he knew anything about it, but the point is he was a producer of that show. He's responsible.
yeah, they
Well-
said as an actor he's clear, but as a producer he's not.
Yeah, that would make,
the thing is, because it was a revolver. I mean, you can look
Yeah.
in the rotor. I guess it's called a rotor, right?
Yep.
You can see
Mhm.
you can see what's in there.
and
you
Blake's
know,
usually
so,
marked. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just
Well, it comes down to, the basic gun safety stuff. And like, even, my 8-year-old, every time it's like, every gun is loaded all the time. Well, what if you take the magazine? Every gun is loaded all the time. And he
if you
starts
keep that
nodding. out.
mentality.
Always
then
have that
you-
mentality.
Right.
I said, if you'll go into a gun store where they have guns displayed that have never fired a round,
Right.
they will pop the chamber and the gun is always. I said, and it said so because he had asked me about. He goes, in movie sets because he's 8, he's got a lot of questions.
Sure.
So I told him, I was like, well, I've been on a movie set with the gun, and I'm telling you, it was an ordeal.
Right.
I mean, it was no like, oh, he's carrying a gun. No, the whole entire crew had to get around, and they're like, live gun on set, and they drop the mag, pull the chamber, nothing's in there, hand it, and then places and shoot and go. I mean, there was no time for anything else to happen.
Right.
And then the gun was taken off the guy's. I mean, and the funny thing is the guy who was playing the part was actually a deputy too, for real. And they're like, sorry, you can't. He's like, okay, absolutely. He shows that it's empty and hands it to the prop guy. I'm like, because that's what gun owners do. They understand.
They understand.
People who hate guns won't do that, so they can blame it, And
right.
So it's just really kind of a frustrating thing. But I don't know, man. I really feel bad saying this. I don't feel for him. I just don't. I mean,
he's already met with the family
Yep.
of the lady that passed, and man, it's
just
a bad
a
deal.
horrible tragedy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't think there's. They were saying that there was ammo boxes with mixed ammo. It's like, and so I started reading a lot of articles on. Because think about how many movies have been made where guns were involved.
Sure.
Hundreds, thousands and thousands of movies. And all these directors were saying there should never, ever be a live round anywhere near the set. That is never, ever,
Right.
ever. So I think that's where that speculation is. Did someone do something with it, or did someone do it intentionally?
Same thing with, the whole Brandon Lee.
I
God,
mean,
it
was tragic. That guy would have kept going. I think he was awesome.
Oh, yeah. He was amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Crow was badass. Love that movie. But same thing, And then there's someone had said the amount of guns and how many that the Duke did. John Wayne. It was just like never. I mean, almost every movie he ever did, he was armed. It's like, and just never an issue, never even something slightly, And I think it's just that education of that whole thing. So because and then Cass was asking me, well, and she doesn't have a problem. She's not very gun. She doesn't have any really interest in it, but she understands it, and she understands the Second Amendment.
Right.
She thinks people should have the right. But I was like, I don't care if you want to. I just don't want you to be afraid of them.
Sure.
But if you don't want to shoot, I get it. That might change. But she was saying, well, why do they have? I said, well, the reason they have guns that are live like that is because to get the shot, you really have to see the chamber head and the barrel come out and the smoke and stuff like that. I said, but I am kind of surprised by now with technology that there isn't
a CGI
or something effect. And I'm not anti that. People are like, well, that's just. I'm like, well, why even? Even a one in a million.
Fate.
Why attempt fate
Right.
if you could find an alternative that isn't?
There is actually, and they say it's super cheap now.
Mm-hmm.
And The Rock, he said that he'll never use a real gun on set again. So
I know people were going after him for that, and I'm going, okay, I don't agree with everything The Rock says either, but this is a good dude, man. In my opinion. I mean, he's always trying to, but I'm like, he didn't say guns are bad and we shouldn't have. He's just like, well, I'm just not going to have them on. I'm just personally, okay, awesome. He's found an alternative. So what's the thing with that? But what started this whole thing this morning is I had some Carlin going on. I listened to George Carlin, but he's talking about, he goes, yeah, so they're going to ban the toy guns and they're going to keep the real ones. And it's kind of funny, but the whole point was, because even air rifles and air guns now, which can shoot a pellet that'll still hurt.
Oh yeah,
but they have the orange, right? Orange ring around it or whatever.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I was curious to see, because I guarantee we won't. I don't know if we'll know. I mean, real true gun enthusiasts maybe, but
no, they said that they're so real and the graphics now are so easy and cheap to put into scenes.
Yeah,
that it's.
Why tempt it? I agree. I was like, why even? And I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me either. Yeah. But it's tragic. And now what I do, my heart does go out, obviously, is to her and her family. And then, now someone else was injured, right?
The director.
Oh, what state is he in?
They've not released a statement since the shooting.
So.
But they're saying that it was a shot that was like he had the gun at the camera, and so he shot through the camera, and they were crowded, and one killed the person, and passed through and hit the guy behind him.
So that's a Full Metal Jacket round. That's not even a.
So that it was a.
It's not a defensive round. If it went through the camera and her.
Wow.
That's the speculation. Is like, how else would you hit somebody with two? And they're like, well, he was doing a shot through the camera. So
yeah,
it's a no good situation. But
But yeah, on the flip side of that, there's a meme that said, I stand behind Alec Baldwin because I sure as hell not going to stand in front of him.
I didn't see that.
And I'm like, I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I'm like, this is not funny, James. And then
but it's not funny.
It's not funny. It's just, it's dark and it's wrong.
is.
But it's like, and the thing is people, for some reason, people are allowed to heal however they want unless it's humor.
Yeah.
And then it's,
Right.
I was like, but that's not meaning that we're not making light of the situation. It's the way of handling that tragedy.
I mean, he's dying inside. I mean, nobody wants that.
No,
on their conscience.
And I don't
or in their
deny that.
life.
And I really, really dislike Alec Baldwin. I have for years.
We talked about that
but
too.
He's not that good of an actor, man. You can't fake the everything that he's going through. And I think he's just beyond shocked. And I think, but
Sure.
He's got to be responsible. Sorry.
I've told my kids for years, it's the difference between comedy and disaster is comedy is when it happens to everybody else, disaster when it happens to me.
Right.
So if you can understand that,
right,
and people are laughing, it's not because they're laughing at you. It's just it didn't hurt. That's why America's Funny Stuff Videos was around for you.
Yeah,
still
because
around.
Nut shots are funny.
Yes.
Unless it happens to you.
Yes.
Fart jokes are funny.
Even when they happen to me.
That's true.
Unless you're what?
A midget.
A midget? What?
Fart jokes.
Oh. Well, there was that midget fortune teller that robbed the bank. Did you hear about that?
I didn't.
He's a small medium at large. There you go. See, it totally fell for it. I love it.
I could feel it walking into it. I'm like,
this is gonna suck.
Bam.
Okay, that was it. That was my only dad joke for the day, I think.
that's just you priming the pump.
Or it shows you there's a picture of two chick midgets and one male midget. It said they're about to have a 1.5-some. See, that's funny.
That bang's clearly kicking in now.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Thank God we only got like
bang
6 minutes left.
Yeah. The corkscrew is out.
Yeah, I was watching some old comedy on YouTube last night with Benny Hatchett. He's the guy from Herbie the Love Bug. The mechanic.
Buddy Hackett.
That's Buddy
Hackett. Sorry.
Benny Hatchett. I think that was a slasher movie of the 60s.
Sorry.
Oh, Buddy Wackett.
Buddy Wackett. That's what I was just thinking. Tommy Boy.
But he had some of that. His elephant joke about the wallet. You should never buy a wallet made of elephant foreskin because if you manipulate it too much, you'll have a suitcase.
Awesome. A lot of humor you can't do these days.
Yes.
I know. Well, you
could.
You shouldn't, I guess, because people get hurt. It's sad. I don't know, man.
One feeling got hurt
because someone had says like, "Well, what if you heard jokes about suicide attempt or something like that?" I'm like, I'd laugh. I do it all the time. You know why? Because it's freeing. I've been accountable for everything I've ever done. If you can't laugh about it, in my opinion, you haven't held accountability for it and you haven't moved on past it.
Right.
I just really believe that.
True.
And it's like, well, you say that, but I'm going, no, because I've done it several times. And I mean, it just, I don't know. I think you have to do that. And so any situation that I'm going through, and even some right now, I constantly attack it in a humor sense because that's the only way I know to hold myself accountable. It's very freeing. It's just freedom to hold yourself accountable because you're just like, okay, I've let it go. And there's just so many people who don't. And I think that's exactly why.
Well, I don't know if you guys know Miss Pat, the comedian.
You've told me. I haven't seen anything yet, but you're a big fan, so that tells me I should probably watch it.
Well, she has a podcast, and she was talking about how, for her, there's some things that she wants to approach, but she hasn't dealt with it enough, so she can't make it into being funny. So she has to process the pain to get to a point where there's humor in it.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was a brilliant way to
and it's true because I was there. Because I tell people, I mean, when I look back, there are so many mental health facility, so much comedy there. It's just a
lot of material.
It's so much material because everyone's freaking crazy.
No filters.
No, man. It's just I don't know. Like I tell people, it's like I found it funny that it's like I can't play a guitar. I'm not allowed to have shoestrings. I can't shave unless a nurse is watching me, but I have a full sheet on my bed. I can easily hang myself with that. But no one cares about the sheet on my bed. But they're too busy. I sheet you not. They're too worried that I'm going. Yeah, they're too worried that I'm going to do the painful thing of wrapping a guitar string around my throat. I'm just like, dude, and I told him flat, I was like, if I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to just hang myself with a sheet. People do it in prison all the time.
So
And
do
they
you
just look at
think-
me and I'm just going, I'm just saying it's smoke and mirrors.
So do you think people that die folding laundry come back as ghosts in sheets?
Yeah, that's why. That's why all the ghosts are in sheets.
Died during the laundry.
As long as they're not pointy. Too much.
Too much. Yeah. I don't know.
Starch.
Too much starch. That's a Texas ghost has got creases right in the middle of this like that. Probably yeah. And anyway, I got nothing. Yeah, Texas, man, we got weird things going on. You know, Family Guy when they moved down to Texas. Have you seen that episode? I've had so many people like, oh, I didn't think it was funny. I'm like, really? It's all true. Well, Brian goes in to get some Jack Daniels. Right, Brian, the dog, right? Okay, he goes in and gets the Jack Daniels, and the guy puts down a 6-shooter, like a double-action revolver. And he's like, what's that? He goes, is that like a promotion? So I was like, oh, no, it's Texas law. You get a free gun with every bottle purchase. And he's like, oh, God, this state officially sucks. So he goes outside or whatever, and I'm laughing because it's funny. But then he accidentally shoots it, and then you see in his eyes, he's like, oh, I like that. So he starts shooting. But it's so funny. Oh no, it's Texas state law. You get a free gun with it.
Well,
because why are things funny? Every funny joke, everything that's funny has to have an exaggeration. That's what makes it funny. George Carlin said that the best. He's like, you can't joke. You can joke about anything. It's where the exaggeration is, right? And the exaggeration of that is we got a lot of people carrying guns and a lot of gun owners, so that's the exaggeration of it. It's like, it's hilarious. Why are y'all upset about this? You know?
Well, it's kind of funny because Southwest Airlines, their first promotional was giving away free bottles of liquor when they were starting their.
Oh, right.
So
right.
You'd have like, well, the salesmen they drink. The price is the same no matter what, but they're getting free booze, so they're going to start using.
Yep,
and that's how that Southwest. That was their first big ad campaign.
Not to mention how many of the videos of funny flight attendants or Southwest people,
right?
Because they were like, "Hey, maybe flying sucks. We should do something about it." And not to mention that there's a lot of fear attached to flying for good reason. I mean, not the plane crashing itself, but man, people are like, who's carrying what and who's got. I mean, there's I have that fear. Anytime Carla flies, I don't like it. You know, I have that kind of knot in my stomach. You know, but it's at the same time, it can also be very, very funny, right? If you don't believe me, watch Airplane. We've all seen it 600 times, right? So there's a reason, right?
Exactly.
So
followed by Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah. Oh gosh, with fearing. So my point this whole day really is just everything has an exaggeration and a funny point to it. And I just think we spend way too much time being upset and offended. You just walk around. I'm just like, people who are going to be, I think they're just going to be miserable. There's nothing you can really do about it. And so I tend to, poke the bear a lot and try to get people who are having a miserable day to laugh and smile. And a lot of times I do, and I'm just like, but on the flip side to that, I don't think we all need to be schmucks and pushovers. Someone, well, maybe they're just having a bad day. I'm like, that's fine. That doesn't mean it's okay.
Right.
They're allowed to have a bad day, but they can't keep pushing my buttons. I will end it, And so I think there is a fine line to that. So I don't know. That's James G's advice for the day. Be nice at first and try the nice route. And if they keep pushing back at you, okay, then.
And don't be offended by Dave Chappelle.
Don't be offended by people saying stuff. Just don't watch it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was fun. This was a good one. This was a great show. And so we will be back here next Monday, as far as I know. I don't think I have anything going on. No one's getting shots or anything in my family. That's over with. But we will see you next Monday here with James G Unsupervised with Philip and Mike.
See you guys.
See you.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.